It was the first thing Ryan Cooper saw when he turned toward the screen, bright red staining the floor of the subway car, pooling beneath a woman crouched on the grimy metal floor. The train was rattling hard, screaming down the tunnel, but her scream had cut through everything. It was a sound he'd never forget. Desperate, raw, animal. It pulled him forward like a magnet. And in that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the crying toddler strapped to his chest, not the eyes of curious passengers watching in frozen shock, and not the years of pain, loss, and loneliness he had carried like a cross. Ryan dropped to his knees, knowing instinctively what was happening. The woman was in labor, and by the look of it, she wasn't going to make it to a hospital. This was happening, right here, right now. If you believe in the power of kindness, second chances, and the unseen bonds that tie strangers together in unexpected ways, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Royal Stories. Your support helps keep these powerful human stories alive. Ryan had never delivered a baby in his life, but he'd held his wife's hand as she brought their daughter into the world, 4 years ago, in a hospital room filled with light and hope. He'd also held that same hand as the life drained from her 2 years later, cancer claiming her smile, her voice, her future. The subway car reeked of oil, metal, and fear. But as Ryan reached out to the woman, calming her with the same steady hands he used to soothe his daughter during nightmares, he felt something awaken in him, something he hadn't felt in years. Purpose. The woman looked no older than 30. Her face, pale and contorted with pain, was drenched in sweat. Her hair clung to her cheeks, and her coat was soaked through. She was alone. No ring, no suitcase, just a torn handbag, a cracked phone, and now, a life depending on her, and him. Ryan barked for help, but the others kept their distance. A young man offered his coat. An older woman handed him tissues and a bottle of water. But no one else moved forward. He looked into the woman's eyes. "You're not alone," he said, not knowing how much that promise would come to mean. For the next 20 minutes, time blurred. The conductor was alerted. Emergency services would meet them at the next stop. But they wouldn't make it in time. Ryan coached her through the pain, using every memory from his own daughter's birth, every ounce of strength left in his soul. His daughter, Lily, whimpered on his chest, but he hummed to her between contractions, keeping her calm. And then, with one final, agonizing push, the baby arrived, blue and silent. Panic clutched Ryan's chest. He remembered what the doctor had done with Lily. He cleared the baby's airways, rubbed its back, and then, like a miracle, the shrill cry of a newborn shattered the silence. Applause erupted across the subway car. Someone sobbed. Ryan felt tears streak down his cheeks. He handed the crying baby to the exhausted mother, who looked at the child like she was seeing light for the first time. But then, something strange happened. As she cradled the baby, her eyes met Ryan's, and widened. Her face, drained and trembling, shifted from gratitude to stunned disbelief. It's you, she whispered, voice cracking. Her lips trembled. Ryan blinked. Do I know you? She shook her head, but tears spilled freely now. She reached into her coat pocket with trembling fingers and pulled out an old photo, creased, faded, and weather-worn. She handed it to him. It was a picture of a younger Ryan, arms around his late wife. They were at a beach, sun setting behind them, laughing. And beside them, barely remembered until now, stood a teenage girl. Smiling. Free. My name is Madison, she said. Voice trembling. Your wife? She was my foster sister. Ryan's breath caught in his throat. The world blurred. He remembered now, years ago, when his wife, Claire, took him to meet her foster family. A troubled home with kids shuffled through the system. Madison was the youngest, barely 16 then. She had idolized Claire, followed her around like a shadow. But Claire had lost touch with most of them after moving out. They tried reconnecting once, but life, work, and then illness took over. I ran away, Madison continued, her voice thick with emotion. I was pregnant, alone. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I was trying to find Claire. I didn't know she was gone. Ryan stared, his heart breaking in places he didn't know still existed. In that moment, everything came crashing down: loss, fate, coincidence, or maybe something more. Maybe Claire had sent her. They sat together until the train reached the platform, emergency crews flooding in. Madison and the baby were taken to the hospital. Ryan gave his number, visited the next day, and the day after that, and slowly, something incredible began to form, not just between him and Madison, but between his daughter Lily and the newborn she insisted on calling Hope. Madison moved in with them a few months later. At first, just to get on her feet. But the bond grew quickly. Shared pain has a way of making strangers family. Ryan helped her enroll in classes, watched the baby while she studied. Madison, in turn, became like an aunt to Lily, her presence healing wounds neither of them had words for. One night, as they sat watching the children sleep, Madison looked at Ryan and whispered, "Claire would have been proud of you." He didn't reply. He didn't need to. The silence between them was full of her. Months passed, seasons changed, and somehow, out of the chaos of a subway car and a blood-stained floor, a new family was born. A family not by blood, but by something far deeper. Love. If this story touched your heart, if you believe in the power of human connection and the miracles that arise from even the darkest places, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Royal Stories. Your support brings these stories of hope to light and reminds us all that kindness matters. Special request. Please leave a comment if you believe second chances can create beautiful new beginnings. We read every one.